For multiplying decimals times 10, 100, and 1,000, all we have to do is move the decimal point. For example, when you're multiplying by 10, since 10 represents one place value column, you just have to move the decimal one place to the right. The decimal is now behind the 7, so our answer is 7. When we're multiplying by 100, since 100 represents two decimal places, we would move the decimal two places to the right. Since we have an open spot here, we will add a 0. Our product is 70. When we multiply by 1,000, it represents three decimal places, so we will move the decimal 3 times. And we have 2 zeros that need to be added with a product of 700. If we start with a problem like this one where the decimal has more decimal places in it, it may not be necessary to add zeros. When we multiply by 10, we move the decimal one place. The decimal is now here, and we have 32 and 1600ths. When we multiply by 100, we would move the decimal 2 places. The decimal is now here between the 1 and the 6. We have 321 and 6/10 as our product. When we multiply by 1,000, we would move the decimal 3 places. Our decimal is now behind the number, and we have 3,216. No zeros were needed on this problem. When we multiply decimals by numbers other than 10, 100, and 1,000, it is just regular multiplication. We don't worry about the decimal point till you get down to your final product. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Now that the multiplication is done, we have to see where to put the decimal point in the product. There's one decimal point in the first factor. There are no decimal points here in the multiplier, so we have only one decimal place in our product. So our answer is 12 and 6/10. In the second problem, we go ahead and multiply as usual, and we have 144 as the digits in our product, but we have to count the decimal places to see where the decimal point should be. We have 2 decimal places here in the multiplicand, 1 in the multiplier. That gives us a total of 3 decimal places in the product. If you choose to do so, you may put a 0 in front of the decimal, but that 0 is optional. Here again, we will do regular multiplication, go through our usual multiplication steps. Before we multiply by the 2, we do have to add a 0. 2 times 4 is 8. And as we follow through all of our multiplication steps, we just now have to place our decimal in our product. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, so we move 4 decimal places and put our decimal there. There are times when there are not enough decimal places in the product, so we might have to add some zeros. For example, 7 times 6 is 42. That gives us only 2 digits, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So we need to add zeros into those 2 empty spots.